While a crowd outside the U.S. Supreme Court demonstrated against President Donald Trump, the 9 justices inside heard what Trump has dubbed one of the most important cases in American history. At stake, the fate of his deeply controversial global tariffs, announced back in April, that have roiled economies around the world.
These are regulatory tariffs. They are not revenue-raising tariffs.
The U.S. Solicitor General arguing Trump is allowed to impose the tariffs because they're not aimed at raising money, but rather at pressing other countries to deal more fairly with the U.S. on a number of issues Trump has called national emergencies.
Fixing them will make America a strong, financially viable, and respected country again.
Tariff opponents insist they're nothing more than fresh taxes on Americans.
Our founders gave that taxing power to Congress alone. Yet here the president bypassed Congress and imposed one of the largest tax increases in our lifetimes.
Indeed, Trump's global tariffs, above and beyond the separate tariffs targeting Canada, which are not part of this hearing, have already raised many tens of billions of dollars for U.S. coffers. But a concern for those now challenging the tariffs is the makeup of the court itself. Majority conservative, 3 justices are Trump appointees. Yet, at the hearing, 2 of those, Amy Coney Barrett and Neil Gorsuch, seem to hint they're skeptical of Trump's tariffs. Gorsuch, for example, raised the concern the more power given to any president, the less likely it'd ever be reversed.
What president's ever going to give that power back? Pretty rare president.
Liberal justices signaled they oppose the tariffs, but it was the tough questions from some of the conservatives that left tariff opponents optimistic.
We feel really good about the arguments today and the questions that were asked by the justices.
And given what's at stake, Adrienne, the court is expected to rule quickly on this, perhaps before the end of the year.
Okay, but a lot of what ifs are in play here, right, Paul? Like, what happens if the court turns back the tariffs and what if it doesn't?
Well, I'll give you a couple of scenarios. If Trump loses, for example, the presumption is the White House has a plan B on tariffs and would find other ways to do largely the same thing, only differently. If Trump wins, given that 3 lower courts have already ruled against the tariffs, if this court now accepts them, it would certainly reinforce the view held by some that this Supreme Court effectively does Trump's bidding. Adrienne.
All right. That is Paul Hunter in Washington.